Welcome back. It's 7:22, and guess what? It's Child Passenger Safety Week. And as a parent or caregiver, it can be quite confusing to navigate a car seat, so it's important to do your homework ahead of time. To provide a refresher on car seat safety, we welcome back Catherine Hutka, the Health Promotion Specialist with Child Care Safety Link. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
So this is the perfect time to do this chat. Not only is it Child Passenger Safety Week, you've got an exciting study that's just about to come out.
That's right. So the results of the study are going to be released tomorrow. But today I thought we'd have a little preview and kind of talk a little bit about it. And so over the last year, we've been, we have been going across Nova Scotia, and we have been stopping drivers who didn't know that we were coming. And so we looked in the vehicles of almost 700 drivers in Nova Scotia, and we looked at how 1,005 children were being transported in Nova Scotia. And we kind of compiled that data and analyzed that data and took a look at it and thought, well, what are the top errors? What are the top mistakes that parents and caregivers are making that may be putting their child at risk that they might not know about?
Amazing.
So today I thought maybe I'd come and talk about those errors.
The top issue. So the big study comes out tomorrow, but we're getting a sneak peek with the top 5 things that you were seeing across the board. Okay, let's begin. This is great information. Yeah.
So the first part is to know that car seats and booster seats and seatbelts save lives. You know, we know that this is one of the #1 reason that children are fatally injured in Canada is in motor vehicle collisions. But we also know that car seats, the right car seat used correctly, can reduce the chance that a child is killed by up to 71%.
Huge.
So it is not nothing.
Okay.
You know, we were talking about how we used to be not so restrained back in the day, but we know that it's a game changer.
Okay, we got just a couple minutes, so let's whip through these for people, because this is great info.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first tip is to make sure that the harness is snug. We did find that that was something that was, consistently came up as an error that caregivers were making.
Just see, even though the child might be fussing and complaining, you got to snug that baby up.
That's right. So you want to remove all the slack in the harness, and then you want to tighten that harness until you can't pinch a horizontal fold here. So if you're trying to get a pinch at the collarbone, you shouldn't be able to hold that a pinch. You should just kind of pop out of your fingers, right? And so if it's a little bit looser, you can hold that pinch and tighten that harness until that pops out of your fingers. And that's how snug we want that to be, because we want in that moment of a collision, we don't want that child to go anywhere.
They're right in there, nice and snug.
We want them to be right there. The next part of that harnessing is making sure the chest clip is in the proper position at their armpit level, and that's to hold the harness up over their shoulders.
Perfect.
And the level as well. So in a rear-facing child, this child would be rear-facing, facing the back of the car. We want that level of the harness to be at or below their shoulders. If they were forward-facing, we want to move that up to above their shoulders.
Interesting. And then let's talk about the tether, because that's one a lot of people miss. Show the tether.
Yeah, absolutely. So the seat should be tightly attached to the car with the seatbelt or the lower anchors. But then another key mistake that we saw a lot of caregivers making is in a forward-facing seat, the tether should always be attached. So if this was a forward-facing car seat, once it's attached with either the lower anchor strap or the seatbelt and locked and very snug to the car, the next step is that tether. And so we did see that a third of caregivers in Nova Scotia had missed the tether on a forward-facing seat. And so this is so important because it prevents it prevents the top of the seat from rotating down, and it reduces that movement of a child in a crash, right? That could mean the difference between having a serious head injury or no head injury at all.
There you go.
So that's why the tether is so important. You can see this one's red to let you know to pay attention.
So important. Let's go over to this one for a second, just because we have just a few seconds left, but this is such good information.
Absolutely. So once a child is moved to a booster, another thing that we had noticed was that the seatbelt wasn't properly placed on the child's body or routed correctly through where it should go on a booster seat. So here, once you move to a booster seat, the booster's job is to lift the child up so that the adult seatbelt fits their smaller frame correctly. And we want to see that lap belt nice and low on their hips, touching their thighs. And we want to see the shoulder belt between their neck and their shoulder and resting on their chest. And so the seatbelt is the star of the show when it comes to a booster seat. We want to make sure that it's directly on the child's body, that it's going to be there in that moment that they need it, and that they can sit correctly on every ride.
Look at this child all snugged in nicely. The seatbelt's perfectly, they are well in there. Catherine, this is great information. Can't wait for the study tomorrow. Where can we get more information, though, if we want to do a fresh ourselves?
ChildSafetyLink.ca, and on all of our social media this week, we're going to be posting some results, and we're going to be posting, this clip and many others.
Perfect. Okay, so we put that website on ours to make it easy for you to find. Now we're going to head over to break. There we go. So is this mom putting her kid in, hopefully snugging her up nice and safe.